So you've got a pretty massive drum kit now. You've got the kit that you basically wanted when you were a kid. So do you have any other setups that you would use on other gigs that you may not want to play that big of a drum kit?
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to mix it up with my styles lately. Like a lot of people know me for the rock thing, but I like to chill it and like do more groove, kind of like laid back stuff too. So I'll play like maybe like the Catalina kit that's got smaller kick drum, like a 20 or a 22, and maybe smaller toms, like even like a 14-inch floor tom, 12-inch rack, maybe some like chill cymbals like Constantinoples or like those new Armands and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I did the Catalina kit, remember we used like more of the traditional old stands, the Gibraltar.
The flat bass.
Yeah, Gibraltar. Bowie, you're making too much noise. Like the flat bass, more traditional old style stands that I used for that gig. So I can maybe even like go to a friend's and throw my stuff in the car and go do something, you know what I mean? Which is really cool. And I like that look too. I like that traditional look of stands. I mean, we even talked about that, that kind of like how Keith Moon used to have his stuff, but it was like, you look at old drummers, some of their stands were just like really straight. And like,
Oh yeah.
You know.
It's got that vintage look to it.
Uh-huh. So I like to mix it up. It's like drumming, for me, all the equipment that I own is like art. You can do whatever you want with it. That's the beauty of it. And especially now that I've had such a great career, I've collected so much stuff over the years, and you play with it, And that's part of the fascination about being in music and all the equipment and all the instruments that you are able to have at your fingertips,
So let me ask you this. With a drummer with a setup as big as yours, why would you choose to use stands as opposed to like maybe going with a rack or something?
Well, it's funny because rack-wise, I remember coming up in clubs, and playing clubs, and I always thought the rack thing was so genius because you could have some other guys set up your drums, so you wouldn't have to like walk out and the audience sees you. So the rack thing for that, I think, is really, really cool. But then I've always kind of prided myself on more being a traditional kind of drummer, so the look of it for me has never really been the aesthetic of the rack.
Right.
But I did use portions of racks when I was in Guns N' Roses down the side. I didn't actually have it up front, so you didn't see this big thing going across
You're
the
using
front.
side racks.
Yeah. And that's still interesting.
Hybrids.
Yeah. So that's still interesting for guys that want to maybe have the front look of it being clear, not have all that piping going around.
But have the function of not having to put so much stuff on the floor.
Functionality-wise, it's it's the greatest concept ever conceived.
Yeah.
I mean, you can hook all your microphones on there, and you can run all your stands from your mics and everything off of that, or clips or however you want to do it, But back in the day, we did, when I had my racks, we didn't even have clips yet for mics. So you still had to run.
Overheads,
Yeah,
just
all
strictly
this.
out boom stands.
You had all this stuff coming in. You had a lot of stuff to deal with, especially with a big kit. How are you going to get the mics in there and stuff like that
Right.
was always a concern. But yeah, for me, it's an aesthetic, the look of it, I guess. And I've just always been about stands. And sometimes I change my mind, too. I don't want to put that there today. I want that over there.
It's a lot easier with stands to do that.
Yeah,
A lot easier.
I think so. So I opt for stands. Matt Sorum, to be an honorary member of Motorhead in good standing, signed this day of September. Philip Campbell and Lemmy Kilmister. And I have a picture of me shaking his hand and all that, Lemmy. So it's like, I'm arrived. I'm in the club.